Here. Welcome in, Pirate fans. Welcome to the Pirates Cove podcast. Coming to you live from SR Boyle House, Pirate Night. Great atmosphere, great environment, great food. This place is actually packed tonight, so come check it out. I believe they even have lobster tails. But welcome into the podcast. We got a big show ahead. I'm your host, Rick Walker. Joining me as always, the guy that looks like me, Rob Walker. Hey, how you doing, Rob?
Living the dream. Good to see you, Rick.
You are a lot more than the guy that looks like me. I just like to say that, just so you know. But thanks for being on. Obviously, big show. Tonight's headline is tough loss to KinKaid, Rob, as Pirates drop to 3-1 and suffer their first defeat. What'd you see Friday night? Tell us.
I saw a team that had a disastrous first quarter. Once we put that behind us, I think we played some quality football against a quality opponent, and it was great to see the boys not give up. They fought through the end, and I think we're going to net out better than when we went in. Clearly, obviously, a unique environment there. KinKaid, a talented team that's a private school. I won't say they get to recruit, but you can do deductive reasoning. I think they were solid on both lines. I think they had good quarterback play. They had a star running back, and they're just a talented football team. And so, for us to make the long road trip up there, show up and do some things that haven't been Pirate football thus far. Obviously, to start was disappointing, but it's preseason, and that's where the practice comes in. And I think how we responded in quarters 2, 3, and 4 were pretty solid.
I couldn't agree more. Look, KinKaid's a good football team. They're ranked number 1 in that TAPS, that Houston area for a reason. But so is Rockport Fulton. But when you're Rockport Fulton, you can't travel away visitor and spot a team 28 points. During the game, which we called live, it was it was difficult to hear, and it's difficult circumstances to call in that game, which we'll probably touch base on here later on. But like you said, you can't spot a team a 28 points, much less a good competitive team 28 points and expect to win, right? And that's what we were faced. I got the opportunity to sit down with Coach Souza this morning. He gave me the good old Bill Belichick. I called it the Belichick because he's like, we're on to Calallen. But, we did dive in a little bit, and he did talk about some of the mistakes. And he goes, you back out seven big plays, which 6 of those plays were turnovers. He goes, you got a completely different ballgame. It's like, I'm not saying we win, but we were much more evenly matched than what the score dictated. And, I agree. I think there's some players that they have that can do some special things. I think we have some players that can do some special things. But unfortunately, we dug ourselves in a hole and didn't get to showcase that, so to speak. And it's a lot. It's really easy to play with a 28-point lead. Let's put it that way. You're comfortable. You're relaxed. You don't pay for mistakes as severely, right? I mean, would you agree, Rob?
I agree completely. And, most games, you've heard me say this, most games are lost and not won. And, I'm not saying that's not a good football team, but the turnovers in the first quarter, 4 of them were catastrophic to lead to 28 points. And, just totally changes the outlook of the game right off the bat. We moved the ball when we wanted to. Our offensive line, I wouldn't say was as successful as it had been in previous weeks, but we had some holes, some gaps. Give them credit on their scheme and the adjustments. But those turnovers, some of them weren't, I won't say caused by them. We just made mistakes, whether it was in mesh points or throwing the ball to them or dropping the ball, those types of things. So, live and learn. I'm sure we worked on ball security and protecting the ball all week in practice, and then looked at what adjustments we'll make scheme-wise to ensure that we're blocking the right people and we take back control of the trenches, right? Both sides of the offensive and defensive line.
Yeah, for sure. And we talked a little about let's talk a little bit about the defense. The defense only gave up 250 yards total offense to KinKaid, which shows you. I mean, when you have you give up 3 touchdowns on the offense to that KinKaid defense. They don't have to move the ball as much, but the defense did a nice job. Talk a little bit about what you saw defensively from the Pirates, Rob.
Yeah, first of all, I saw hustle. I saw aggression. To your point, when you have the ball turned over in, negative territory or on our side of the field, and make the drive short, that limits the amount of yards that they have, right? But overall, I thought they fought the whole way. I think there were some things we saw in that game that we had not seen all year that will prepare us for the future, likely prepare us for Calallen. And I think that overall, I'd give them an A for effort. I'd give them a B in aggression, and I'd give them a D minus in circumstances that they inherited that they had to deal with. But ultimately, I like what I saw from the defense. There were a couple of coverage breakdowns. Look, I'm not saying they played perfect. There was a crossing pattern that to me had a rub route or pick, if you will, and then there was a wheel route that was similar out of the for the back that they missed. Those things that we can shore up. We'll watch those on film, and I'm sure Coach Black and the defense will get those adjusted.
For sure. And look, shout out to Hugo Carrillo. Beautiful interception. We had 2 interceptions on defense as well, so we did cause 2 turnovers, which was nice. But Carrillo's pick was super impressive. Tight coverage in the end zone, prevented what would have been a sure touchdown because it was a nice throw had Carrillo not been there and had good coverage, Rob.
Yeah, without a doubt, the play he made, and what I really liked is not only was he stuck to the receiver like Velcro, he turned and found the football, which allowed him to make the play to get that touchdown on that fade ball. So,
yeah, kudos to him. I know you're giving the information. You're locked up right now. You're frozen once again. Good old remote technical difficulties. Rob, can you hear me? Looks like we've lost Rob. We'll see if he can get reset, come back on. But as he's pointing out, great defense, great effort. I got in speaking with Coach Sosa, talking about the defense, and the scheme was good. We tackled well. We matched up well up front. And again, giving up 250 yards of total offense against that KinKaid team is a win. I mean, they're fairly dynamic, got good quarterback play, good running back play, and strong receivers. So, and that line's no slouch. So, good job by the Pirates on defense, and we're going to need to be as good, if not better, this Friday at home against the Calallen Wildcats. So, big game this Friday night. The game is at 7:30. The Pirates Cove Sports Network will be bringing you that game live at 7:30. We ask you to join us. It's a big night, obviously. Anytime you play Calallen, rich history of tradition, and we got a big night for our youth and students who have perfect attendance. They'll have the opportunity to run out onto the field, go through the pirate ship, and run out onto the field pregame, and we will be bringing that to you live on the Pirates Cove Sports Network as they take the field. So we invite you out if they're invited. Try to be there. We'll get you on video as we air the broadcast Friday night from Pirate Stadium. That being said, talking about the KinKaid ball game, we got our offensive player of the week. It's going to be Trevor Garcia. Played a nice game, had a great game on the run, and then I want to shout out to Hugo Carrillo for defense for that pick that in the end zone that prevented a sure touchdown. That's our Pirates Cove defensive player of the week. So that's our SR Boilhouse players of the week. And by the way, we are here at SR Boilhouse at Pirate Night. Great environment, great food. I had a fantastic steak pregame. I know you guys are jealous listening at home. Come out, get you a great steak, get you some lobster tail, get you some boudin, great Cajun food, get you some good crawfish boil. They'll take really good care of you. Great service, great food, family friendly. Bring your dog. Say hello to Steve Cantu and family, the Aguilar family who are always out here. Heck, even the Hall of Fame team is out here putting together their stuff. It's a great place. Come out, have a great time with us. And we're doing this every Wednesday night as during the football season at SR Boilhouse for Pirate Night. I'm sure it'll carry over into other sports as we get going. But we'd love to have you come out and enjoy your time with us. That being said, I also want to thank our sponsor, SR Boilhouse, Spears & Co., McAllister Construction. You guys have been great. We're continuing looking for more sponsorship as we grow the podcast, the broadcasts, all sports. We're going to be streaming all sports as we continue to advance. You'll see us move into more coverage of Rockport Fulton athletics. So we ask that you please join us and take part in that. As we wait on Rob to try to log back in, hopefully he's having some technical difficulties, but we're going to preview the Calallen game here shortly, kind of go through that. But we also want to talk about the play of the game for the Pirates, and that is the nice touchdown at the end of the game by Trevor Garcia. So that's our Pirates Cove offensive play of the week by the offensive player of the week in Trevor Garcia. So great effort by him. Once again, being recognized, pretty consistent performer week in and week out for the Rockport Fulton Pirates. We're going to give Rob a second to come on, but before we do, we've got our Spears and Co. trivia question. What was the last time? And by the way, Aguilars, you can answer, but you won't be a prize winner as you've been a multiple prize winner. We appreciate your participation for sure. So the Pirates Co. podcast at SR Boyle House trivia question brought to you by Spears and Co. Realty. We're trying to get in all the sponsors here tonight. Is what was the last year that the Rockport Fulton Pirates beat the Calallen Wildcats? So everybody's looking at me like they don't know. We'll see. But that is the question. What year was the last year that the Rockport Fulton Pirates beat the Calallen Wildcats? And that will soon change to 2024 when we get to prediction time. But get Rob Walker back in here, and we'll start to break down the Calallen Wildcats. And guys, when you answer that question, if you will, please put it in the comments section, and the winner will get a prize. It'll either be a gift card or a bag or a coffee mug. Okay, it'll be a $50 gift card to SR Bowl House. So see if Rob's able to make it back in. Rob, you there?
I am. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. You are back. Got a different background and everything.
Different computer.
New and improved. So glad to have you back. So we talked about our offensive player of the week, defensive player of the week, and our play of the game. I just gave him the trivia question. What was the last year that the Rockport Fulton Pirates beat the Calallen Wildcats in football? So that's out there, looking for answers there. But as we jump into Calallen, Rob, what are the Pirates up against as Calallen comes to visit us at Pirate Stadium Friday night, 7:30 p.m.?
Yeah, we're in for another tough matchup against a really good football team that's physical. They're big up front, both O-line, D-line. They're well-disciplined and a quality team that is built on tradition, right? Obviously, they got a new head coach. They play in District 16 4A D1. They're coached by Coach Charlie Reeve, who comes over from Victoria. They returned 7 offensive starters, 4 defensive starters, off of a 7-4 by-district team that lost in round 1 against Alice. And then so far this season, Rick, they're 3-1. They're coming off of their only loss, or their first loss, which is to Carroll, which was not expected by any means. That was an upset, but there's some story behind that that I think is relevant to their performance. They beat GP, their rival, to start the season 42-40. They've beat Mexico City, and they've avenged their loss against Alice here in the regular season. So it's hard to say what exactly we're going to face formation and lineup wise, because offensively, how they line up will be dependent on who they play at quarterback, which is part of the reason why they struggled early on against Carroll. They're down 2 quarterbacks. They were actually starting a sophomore who's going to be a really good player, but was struggling initially to adjust to the speed of the game and overall readiness, thrust into a start probably wasn't fully prepared for, or didn't have enough time to prepare for. I'll say it that way. Their starting quarterback is a mobile quarterback. Number 4, his name is Sebastian Dennis, very athletic, runs the offense. He's an operator of it, but they're a power football team typically. But when they went to this young sophomore, Connor Klosterman, they spread it out more, but they will go 1 back with an H-back tight end, so you can call it 11 personnel on offense. Their depth at running back is similar to us. So when I look at them, they've got a lot of the same strengths. I would say their offensive line is similar to ours. They may not have as many backs, but they do have depth. And they mix it up with size and change of pace. They got number 20, Jude Hernandez. He's their best football player offensively and defensively. He's about 6'1", 220 pounds. two-way player, as I mentioned, top linebacker, but runs with authority, breaks several tackles. We're going to have to rally to the football with him. Doesn't have a ton of speed, but enough to be very effective, and he's just a solid football player. Then they got another guy who's more of their zone cut and go back, which is Ricardo Rodriguez, number 24, and then their change of pace back is number 25, Carlos Rosales. I think on defense, when I look at them, they faced a lot of spread teams, and obviously we don't run spread often, slot T, so how they line up to us will be pretty interesting. They're 4-2-5 thus far against spread teams, 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs. I would expect them to bring 2 of those DBs down, Rick, at least 1, maybe 2, add 1 to the box or 1 to the D line in order to match up against our power running game. I think they're going to be sound, and I think we're going to have to be aggressive blocking them and understand that, what may have been 12 yards against Bishop or San Diego is probably going to be 5-6 yards against Calallen. And we have to be okay with that, I think. I think we do have the advantage on the edge with speed. I could definitely see Zane Rios getting the edge on a few plays. I don't see them as a fast football team offensively or defensively. I think overall, it's probably a push. And like I said, I see a lot of us and them, maybe with them having a little more depth, being a little larger school than we are. But overall, I think it's going to be a really competitive football game. And Rick, last thing I'll say, when we talk about this game, I view it from a theme standpoint as tradition versus up-and-coming program, right? The tradition of Calallen, you're going to see that logo on their helmet. Everyone's got to make sure that they check their mind and realize this isn't the Phil Danaher years. I'm not saying they're not a really good football team, because they are, but it's just different, is what I would say. And when you look over there and they have a history of 41 winning seasons, they have 34 10-win seasons. They're seeking their 35th, and at one point from 88 to 2003, Rick, they had 16 consecutive 10-win seasons, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and so massive tradition as it relates to South Texas football. Everyone in the area, when they think of South Texas football, it's Calallen, Refugio, right? And so I think that's important, because when you haven't faced that on a regular basis, sometimes you can think about that. The reality is we got to play on the same field. They got to do the same things that we do, and there's really not a lot of difference. Don't get caught up in the helmet decal and the colors. Let's just focus on fundamental football, and I think we'll be just fine.
I agree, and we can't get down 28 points, right? We can't spot them anything. This is a game we need to play clean, 0 turnovers, as few penalties as possible. We do that. I like our chances Friday night. I really do. I like the matchup. I know they'll hit us in the mouth, but I also know we'll hit them in the mouth, right? And that's what it's going to take. I think it'll be a slugfest, and a fun ball game. Like, I'm excited to call this ball game. I like the matchup. And last week's over. Let's bury that. Obviously, we had a poor performance. We turned the ball over. Heck, we had more turnovers in that game than we had all season combined, right? So that being said, it's we put that behind us. We have clean execution. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think we're coming off of similar games, right? They were down 24-0. Calallen was in the first half. And we were down 28-0 in the first quarter. So similar experience. Both teams got down. Both teams fought back. And what I want to make sure, a couple things. One, don't turn the ball over. 2, get pressure on the young quarterback if they start Klosterman. If they start Dennis or they start Braden Alexander, they're going to be operators. They're not pass heavy. So we'll see a lot of run out of both of those guys. And I think, obviously our coaches know this. They watch the same film and more that I have, and I'm sure we'll make those adjustments. But I think we have the flexibility to match up well either way we go here.
Completely agree. So with all that said, I'm going to put you on the hot seat here. What's your prediction Friday night as Calallen comes to visit us here at Pirate Stadium?
So I'm going to do my best, Johnny, and I'm going to be a little long here. I think, shout out to you, Johnny Z. I think that home field advantage will make a difference. I think special teams for us are going to make a difference. And I think having less than a full week with an injured, set of quarterbacks and not sure who they're going to play or what they've got, all are advantage Rockport, right? Because you don't have a full week to prepare for the slot T. It's not easy, the discipline of it. They played spread, so I think that's going to give us troubles. I think we're going to move the ball. I think they'll move the ball as well. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring ball game, though. And I think our Rockport Fulton Pirates are going to come away with a one-score win of 21-14 on Friday night.
Well, I will say great minds think alike because that's exactly what I had written down. It's 21-14. I didn't need that whole long-winded, all these reasons that you gave. I just had 21-14. That's how I roll. All kidding aside, I see it very similar. I think it's going to be a tough matchup. I think home field advantage is the difference. I think special teams is a difference. I think you got two teams that have been almost humbled a bit, and I think they're both going to come out with a lot to prove. And the one that plays loosest, that doesn't make the mistakes of turnovers and penalties, gets it done Friday night, and I believe that's going to be our Rockport Fulton Pirates, Rob.
Love it.
So that being said, as well, let's move into other area games in South Texas. You got anything for us? Any big games going on this week?
Yeah, there's several. Let me look at my notes here, but the one that stands out the most is within our district. Sinton is playing at Miller. Both those teams are state ranked. Sinton is number 4. Miller is right at number 10 after their loss to DeSoto. Obviously, Miller's a really good football team. By the way, I am picking Miller in that football game. I think Miller is the more talented, more speed football team. I think Sinton's really good. And obviously, they've got what a schedule, right? Like they play Calallen as well. They play GP. They play Miller. Right, they're going after it, and you got Cuero in the district, and obviously they got us, right? So really tough schedule for them. Also, you've got Orange Grove at Edna. I think that's an interesting ball game. Orange Grove's playing better post the game against Rockport. Edna state ranked with athletes everywhere. Alice is at GP. GP is winless. I can't tell you how long it's been in my mind that I can remember a GP team being winless going into week 5. And Alice hasn't been much better. They've had some ups and downs. So, both teams looking to right the ship here to an extent.
Rob, do you know if Alice will be fully staffed? Will they have their kids after the
I don't know. We've heard stories about some suspensions there. We'll see what that nets out. I don't want to speculate, but obviously that is something that's floating out there. And
if they're fielding a full team, I think Alice beats GP. Don't you?
I don't know. I think matchup wise, Alice can throw the ball really well, and I don't know how well GP will match up with it. I think it will be a high scoring game because both teams like to throw the ball all around the ballpark. Reed Dooms, okay. Lucian Cruz, so two good teams. We'll see. Around the state, San Antonio, I think, takes center stage in a couple of games. They've got number 8 ranked in 5A D1 San Antonio Piper at Smithson Valley, Perennial Power in the San Antonio area. And then you got Alamo Heights versus Bernie, two teams state ranked. Alamo Heights, I got to see them on video. They've got 4 almost 5-star player at super athlete in Michael Terry. Bernie's solid, really good football team. You also have Longview Pine Tree, number 6 in 4A D1, playing number 7 in 4A D1, Kilgore. So 6 versus 7 in 4A D1 matchup, right? So tough ball game there. And then you've got number 8 in 5A D2 Brenham versus number 3 in 4A D2 Gilmer. So those are the big state matchups. And then the rest of the teams in the district, Ray is at Ingleside and Robstown is at King, and Cuero is playing Belton. Cuero also has a really, really tough schedule. So that's what we've got across the district. By the way, Ingleside has been a bit of a surprise to me. I think they played above what I thought they were going to be, and I think that's going to still be a solid matchup for us versus them. I think their quarterback play from a running perspective is gotten really good. I really like the way that they're playing ball, and that defense is solid as well. So something to look out for as we get deep into district.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob, for all that. So Pirate fans, I want to thank you guys for joining us. We're going to talk a little bit about sponsorship. Again, we're looking for sponsors to sponsor programs like this and the game Friday night. If you're wanting to get your business out there and help support Rockport Fulton Athletics and support what we do here on the Pirates Cove Sports Network, ask that you reach out to myself or Gabriel Trevino via Facebook Messenger. Just message the Pirates Cove page. Let us know you're interested. We'll reach out. We'll have conversations, figure out what you want to do. Find a sponsorship that makes sense. Keep in mind the money that you do give goes to help put on broadcasts like this and help us cover additional sports. We're trying to cover everything. It's building right now. You'll see us do basketball. You'll see us do softball. You'll see us do baseball. We want to cover more and more. Want to see us do soccer. We're trying to get more and more out there to cover as many of these events. At minimum, streaming them so you can watch them if you can't attend. Obviously, we want you to attend all these events live and in person. That's the best way you can support the Pirates. But if you can't, then obviously we're your place to do that. We look for support in order to bring you this great coverage that we're able to do. So reach out to us. We appreciate it. I want to thank Augie and his team at SR Bullhouse for allowing us to do Pirate Night here. Great specials, great place, great food, great environment, great people. Everything's great, right? Everything is awesome. But I say that, all joking aside, it truly is. And we appreciate their sponsorship and their support as we do this and bring this to you every Wednesday night. So with that being said, come out, root the Pirates on Friday night. Join us as we come live. Game kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. at Pirate Stadium. And be loud, be proud. And if not, join it here and be loud on your couch watching the game, however you want to do it. But we also want you to reach out to our sponsors and do business with those folks that help make this happen. So once again, thank you guys. And Rob, I'm going to let you send us off tonight and close out the podcast with what we got to say to close this thing out.
Hey, so one, we want to apologize for loss of connectivity and loss of mics on Friday night. That was a interesting environment. We were put up on a roof next to the band and the speaker of the PA announcer, which was quite challenging. And so we had one mic that was working. We had technical difficulties there. We apologize for that. We're working to make sure that doesn't happen in the future, and that definitely won't happen at home. So we'll keep you posted, and go Pirates. Looking forward to a big game on Friday. Support your team. Come out, show up, be loud, be proud, root on the boys, and know that they're going to give great effort. And thank you for the opportunity.
For sure. Well said. And to add to that, listen, every away game presents a different challenge, right? We don't know what we're kind of getting into, especially on stadiums like KinKaid. We don't know if they have room for us to be in a press box. If we're on top, or heck, if we're even sitting in the stands calling the game in some instances, right? So each of those situations presents challenges from an internet standpoint, from a camera standpoint, from a mic standpoint, from just being able to hear each other as we call the game standpoint. There's challenges that come with that. KinKaid presented some interesting ones. So our broadcast wasn't as what we like to see from a quality standpoint. Again, we continue to get better. We'll have our tech guy back. We'll be inside the friendly confines of Pirate Stadium Friday night, 7:30. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Like Rob said, be loud, be proud, go support the Pirates, and look forward to a great game. And with that being said, go Pirates. See you Friday night.
Go Pirates.